All right, good morning. It's Thursday. For me, that's donut day. I think I say that every week, but that logs in my mind so I don't forget them. I'm not a happy. I'm not. People don't love to see me when I don't have my donuts on Thursday. So anyway, it's going to be a great day, isn't it? Weather's going to be good here. Perfect sun all day. It's going to jump up into the 80s. I know for all you fall people, you're like, I wish it was colder. But I'm grateful for what we do have right now. It'll get cold soon enough. Hey, so we're continuing wandering through this book of First Peter. Yesterday we just looked at one verse. Today we're just gonna look at one verse. So don't panic and think, man, that we're never gonna get out of this. It's just some days call for that kind of a day, and this is a good one. I love the topic today. Loving life and seeing good days. Man, doesn't that sound refreshing, right? Just loving life and seeing good days. And it's funny how we hear those terms and we think a lot of us probably think more like vacation, right? Man, I'm just, it's my happy place and all that. So loving life and seeing good days is being at the beach or being at the mountains or, maybe it's being with family. But daily, this thing should be living life and loving it and seeing good days. Now, you think it's strange that he would say this in the middle of talking about suffering and a hostile world. But then as we read this text, and that's why we're only camping out on one verse today, because attitude is so important. And so this is what it is, right? You can have two people living the same kind of life, and one of them sees it as terrible, and the other sees it as good. And the only difference is not the environment, not the circumstances, not the dollars, not the people. The only difference is a mindset. And so we keep coming back to that all through the scriptures. It seems like the Lord's leading me on that journey just constantly through the scriptures of the attitudes and how important that they are. And even in Ephesians, when Paul talks about, in light of all of this great stuff, let's walk worthy. I urge you, he says, my brethren, to walk worthy of this calling, the fact that we've been called to be light. And then he lists out 5 attitudes. And today, Peter's doing a very similar concept. You would think the same Holy Spirit is working in both men, wouldn't you? Maybe because he does. But so good day. Hey, let's have a good day. What does that mean? It means, you have to determine in your own mind. For me, it means meaningful, right? It's a meaningful day. Whether that meaningful day was just hanging out with the Tamster or traveling up to see our kids and grandkids and all of that, wherever they happen to be, and what state they're in, or it could mean work and that you felt like it was productive, right? A good day is one that was meaningful. That you go, hey, I'm gonna log that into my calendar. That was good in my journal. It's satisfying, right? You get to the end of the day and go, man, that was a good day, right? Tammy and I say that a lot during the weekend, especially on Saturday or something. We go, man, that was a good day. If it's just hanging out and seeing people and loving life, serving others, productive, fulfilling, right? You feel like you did something. That's a good day. And so when we talk about how to love life and see good days, that's what he's talking about. But let me ask you just a serious question. There's nobody, right, probably with you. But let's talk about this. Honestly, do you love life? I mean, not, yeah, I love most of it. I love some. I'm talking about, is that the habit of your life to go, oh, man, I love life? And it's a good day. It was a good day. Or what's the outlook? Now listen, this isn't meant to be judgmental, but if you can't rightly assess yourself, then you become a hypocritos, right? One who plays the man who is not who he says he is, and you'll never find that ability to love life and see good days if you can't be honest with yourself. I'm not trying to talk you into realizing that you don't have a bad day. I mean, that you don't see good days and you don't love life. But it's important that you take stock of that. What's your outlook? Now, he says this in the middle. Well, not really in the middle. He's coming to the conclusion of this section that he's been talking in. Let's read it, and then you'll see what we're talking about. He says, chapter 3, verse 8. Finally, all of you be like-minded, sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil for evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing. because to this you were called, and so that you may inherit a blessing. Here's our topic. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil, their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayer. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. So here's the context. Right now, what he's done is he's gone and dove deep into a few issues. And now he's coming out and going, hey, now let me give you kind of a summary. That's why he says finally. So what does this finally represent? Well, the whole context in this book is difficult days. That, like, life is difficult. That doesn't mean it can't be a good day, but there are difficult days. And so these people, and man, the more I read this, the more my mind it drifts toward my Chinese brothers and sisters, and my African brothers and sisters, and the Middle Eastern brothers and sisters that are just struggling with persecution, with heavy persecution, loss of life and limb, and loss of possessions, and ostracization from friendships and from the marketplace. It's a real deal. It may not be here, but it's a real deal in other places. And so Peter is determined, and we've talked about it. I'm going to mention it again, right? How do we get through those times? Well, we get the end game in mind. There's a heavenly city. This isn't my home. Let's just get that off the table, he said. Let's just do that. Then he says, now, in the marketplace, in the governmental issues, here's how we handle it. We're going to shine his lights. We're going to be the best citizen that we can be in this place. We're going to honor the emperor. We're not going to be people of protest. We're not going to be people of rebellion. We're going to be people who just live life knowing that God is in control. And that's the quickest way to muzzle the critics of the Christians, is just to be who God's called us to be. Just be Christ-like. And then he says, when you move it to the marketplace, or slavery in that sense, which is the equivalent of our marketplace these days, it's the same thing. We honor those in charge of us. We go over and above. We do everything we can to please those who have authority over us in the marketplace. And then he says, now in the home, it's the same thing. How does a wife live as a godly woman in a hostile marriage? And how does a man do that if his wife is not a Christ follower? And so that's where he's been talking. Now he comes up and he says, all right, so now how do we live life or love life and see good days? It starts with an attitude. It always does. It's a good outlook. That's how you have it. Windshield is how I always see attitude. It's the outlook, right? When we say have a good outlook, that's what I think about, a windshield, where we're looking out that window and it becomes the way in which we see everything. If that window is dirty and smudgy and foggy and everything else, we have no good outlook. If our attitude is dim and gray and foggy and junk all in it, we can't have a good outlook. So how we think will drop down into our heart, where our emotion and our attitude comes out, and that's the windshield we see life. And our behavior will always be determined by our attitude. So today I want to talk about what kind of attitudes give us the ability to truly love life and see good days in the midst of what the world may see as not good days. How can we have that different attitude? All right, there's 5 of them. And here we go. You ready? We're just going to rock and roll through it. Finally, all of you, be like-minded. Now, these attitudes are stuff that we have to work out. It may mean changing our mindset, but our attitude is all important, and this is it. And you control your attitudes. You get to choose your attitude. Nobody gets to choose that for you. You get to choose your attitude. So don't make this about, yeah, but you don't know my whatever. No. You hadn't met my wife, or you don't know my boss, or you don't look, all those things. At least we all deal with some of those things. Still, at the end of the day, I choose how I respond to life, right? I can't control what others do to me, but I can control how I respond to what others do to me. And so this is where Peter is right now. And he says, fine, we're going to look at 5 really quickly. He says, finally, all of you be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. So let's just break those down. First one, he says, be of the same mind. That means harmony. Literally, the word means same mind. Homophrones. That's what that means. It's homo same, phrones, frontal lobe kind of thing, mind, right? So to have the same mind. That means to have a unity of heart. If we put it kind of in a negative, it's not in conflict, right? My attitude, if I want to love life and see good days, I shouldn't be looking for conflict everywhere. I shouldn't go find someone, politically different and just kind of engage and get all worked up over that stuff. I don't, that's not going to help you have good days and love life. And some of you should turn off all that stuff until maybe the first of the year. But that's for you to decide. But there's this, you don't go looking for conflict. You don't see it at every turn. We don't create trouble. Your attitude is, hey, I'm not here for trouble. Some of you, honestly, your attitude is probably there for trouble. I mean, I got a lot, maybe I'm not talking to you, but I'm just saying there's a lot of people who they live for conflict, and they create it and then want to blame everybody else. You'll never love life and see good days if that's your deal. There has to be this same-mindedness, this harmony, right? Where and this isn't just for the Christians. This is for everybody. I can find harmony with everybody on the planet. For the most part, you can do that, right? To be of the same mind, because we all are of the human race. We all were created in the image and likeness of God. Now, fallen man has created a lot of issues with that, but there is that brotherhood in that sense. Then he says, not only to be same mind, and you need to go back and think through these. We're just hitting them hard and fast. Be sympathetic. That means to suffer with. Sumo pathos. It means that I am going to suffer pathos with, right? So it means that I'm it's almost like empathy, right? I'm not going to condemn. I'm going to suffer with you. If you come in and you're just all over the place or whatever's happening, and you got a pouty attitude and everything, I can look at you and look this way, right? Oh, well, you're an idiot. Why don't you come up here with me? Or I can just turn the tables. So, I don't really know what they're going through, but whatever it is, it seems to have a hold on them, so I'm gonna suffer with them. I'm gonna be sympathetic. That's what that means. I'm gonna go, okay, let me try and feel their pain. Now, this may go against all the gurus who want to talk about everything else about boundaries, and I'm not against those things. I'm just saying sometimes we go crazy with those things. He's speaking in the fact that we should be sympathetic with people. Sympathy with a fallen world, right? Does your heart not break when you see addicts out on the streets? I know it's easy to go, well, they should clean themselves up. They should make better choices. But at the same time, can't we understand that our mindset as Christ followers is vastly different than theirs? And so there's just a sympathy. You're going to love life and see good days if you're not just unsympathetic toward people. Sensitive to those in pain, right? You can't help but love life and see good days when these attitudes are in your life, that you're of the same mind and you are sympathetic. And the third one is that you love one another. That's simply the word Philadelphia, right? Brotherly love. That's what that is. To have a love for fellow humans, just a love for them. It's interesting. I walk every day at lunch. I walk anywhere between 20 and 22 blocks. Just up, if you're out and about at lunchtime, you'll see me on 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Avenue north in the downtown district, just walking. And it's a great time. I put in my iPod, my earbud, turn on some worship music, do a little praying, just kind of just engage in life. It's like life-giving. Anyway, in the midst of that, though, you can see that there are some of the homeless that are out there. It's funny, you watch people pass by homeless and they won't look them in the eye and they won't do these things. You just kind of turn your head because you don't want to be asking money. You want to be bothered, so you just keep going. What you'll find, though, is that you'll see the homeless are the ones who care for the homeless. There's a brotherly love there, right? If the people who seem to have it the worst have that brotherly love, shouldn't we? What's gotten into us that we don't have that brotherly love for fellow humans on this planet, that we can't slow down long enough to give a nod and say hey and all of those things. See, this is what it means. You want to love life and see good day? Be that, right? I almost have this picture of walking down the street, little, bluebirds are on my shoulder and, little butterflies are fluttering around, right? And it's just a good day because little starlights are glittering around, the little movie scenes that you'll see from time to time. That should be us. We should have that lifestyle where we're just happy and we love life. Well, these attitudes is the way to get that. Then he says this, and be compassionate. Now, that word compassionate means kind-hearted. Your version may say that. It is an emotion. Kind-heartedness is love emoting, right? That's what that means. The root word of that literally has to do with our bowels, because in old culture, that's where our feelings were. We say, my heart breaks. But they would say, "Oh man, I can," and that we call those butterflies, right? There's emotion that wells up, and we feel those things. And he's saying, "Listen, I want you to be compassionate." It's an emotional feeling where we see things, and we're compassionate enough to go, "Man, that breaks my heart. How can I help?" Right? That's what it should be. Man, that breaks my heart. So that's compassion, and that's an attitude that we ought to have. Jesus had that. He had compassion on all people. That's why Jesus wept when because he saw Mary and Martha, and he was compassionate about them. He was compassionate about even the hardened ones that came to him and that walked away. He was compassionate for the leper. He was compassionate for the ruler, the rich ruler, and saddened by his rejection of those things. And then the last one is humble. And we cannot escape this word as Christ followers. Humility is the core of the Christian life. It's what it defined who Jesus was. Have this attitude in yourself, which was also in Christ Jesus. And it's about humility. That is to consider others more important. If you don't walk through this life arrogantly, like it owes you something, you're going to love life and see good days. If you think life owes you something and you're better than people and you deserve something, you're never going to love life and see good days. Your attitude always determines your day. And so when he says, whoever would love life and see good days, and he's going to help us break that down more, but that in the original language, that's the crux of everything he's talking about from 8 to 12. That's it. So let's reverse it. You want to hate life and see bad days? You be contentious with people, right? You be cold-hearted toward people. You be uncaring toward people and selfish in your love. You just be hard. And then you be self-absorbed and arrogant. And you're going to never love life and see good days. It's all about attitude, my friend. And so that's what we looked at today. I'm going to go put these into practice today and love life. And I'm going to see a good day today and hope you do too. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.